President Bola Tinubu says ongoing reforms by his government have led to the stability of the country and delivered the economy from bankruptcy. Now, President Tinubu spoke yesterday, Tuesday, in Abuja, while receiving the leadership of the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria, led by its president, Most Reverend Matthew Ndagoso, at the State House in Abuja. Now, President Tinubu emphasized that Nigerian security architecture is also being repositioned for greater efficiency. Now, the president said the government will sustain interventions that directly improve the livelihood of families and citizens, such as the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEFOD. He has also listened, and he said he has listened carefully, and most importantly, like he said, your key areas that you're talking about, like security and education, I tell you categorically with sincerity that the country has been placed in a sound footing. Now, the economy has recovered, the alarm for bankruptcy and dark tunnel of uncertainty that had been is no more there, Mr. President said. Now, according to him, the spirit of the people is lifting and the economic turmoil that we feared is cleared. Now, the economy has been delivered from bankruptcy. Tinubu said that restructuring of the security operations and institution will deliver victory over terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping across the country. He also added. He stated that the security challenges are being confronted through enhanced intelligence gathering, restructuring, and repositioning of the security institutions, improved logistical support, and prioritization of frontline personnel welfare. Now, he also said, we do not have another country but only Nigeria. And I'll refer to the national anthem that our complexity and diversity, we shall strive, live, rejoice, and be good at all and humanity, he also added. Now, he also said he has approved the expansion of the armed forces and is getting more equipment and building new barracks. And he said the defeat of terrorism is very clear. He should also said that all of these will definitely be. But the big question still remains, are some of his reforms truly working? And are we beginning to win the war against insecurity? Well, a look at this will definitely take center stage on the show today. And that's we're looking at the economic reforms and security repositioning of the Tinubu administration. That's what we're looking at, especially with those comments coming from him just yesterday when he had the Catholic Bishop of Nigeria really visiting him just yesterday. But anyway, we'll not be having a bishop in the house, rather being joined by no other person but a public analyst. And we're talking about Gideon. He'll be joining us all the way from Gideon. He'll be joining us all the way from Asaba. Good day and welcome to the show, sir. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And how is the rain there? I guess it's raining cats and dogs because that's what's happening here.
It is cat and dog.
Okay. Let's leave the rains and come to what President Bola Tinubu said yesterday when he had.
Tinubu is doing, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's leave the rains. Can you hear me?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
What Tinubu is doing is in line with his renewed hope agenda. If you will recall, he had 8-point agenda.
Okay.
For which he coined it the renewed hope agenda. Part of the things he has done, which time will not allow, let me just speak to the security you are going. He promised in that manifesto that he's going to ensure that banditry is reduced, kidnapping reduced. And in the recent days, he has actually seen that he means well by telling us that it's increasing the military presence in Nigeria by increasing the number of persons to be recruited. He's spending so much money on technology and refusing to pay ransom. We have seen convictions of 3 men who were part of the Oyo kidnap.
Yeah.
So sending a signal to these bandits that is not business as usual. So as far as a man says, this is what I want to do, and he's doing it, then he seems to be seen as a serious person.
Okay, well, thank you for emphasizing that, especially as you react to what he told the Catholic bishops just yesterday when they visited him at the presidential villa in Abuja. But let's now leave those discussions and look at it holistically. Now, one thing I want us to start with is, let's start with the economy, because that's a main indicator of whether this administration is performing well or not. And I want us to, first of all, look at what the International Monetary Fund only said recently. And they talked about this administration doing well in stabilizing of the macroeconomic angle of the economy. They talked about doing well as it concerns the foreign exchange improvement and the growth forecast reaching 4.2% when they projected 3.9% early this year. Now, in your own honest assessment, how was this administration able to, in every way, stabilize the macroeconomy and indeed deal with the other issues that seem to be having a negative index or indices as it concerns inflation and the growing threat of our economy not looking stable?
Okay. The economy aspect of our present administration is a mixed bag. Mixed because there are positive things it's doing.
Okay.
But they are appearing too little because of where we are economically. So if you look at it one way, you think it's not achieving anything. But if you look at it in terms of the data, it's achieving much. But remember, the data is not the Nigerian pocket. Okay. So the Nigerian pocket is still very dry. But there are things he has done. So talking about the macroeconomic goals, they are usually for general price stability, which we'll be talking about inflation. You discover that if not for the oil transportation issue that came between Iran and US, we have received some level of stability of our inflation. Yes. Since energy cost was coming down. But when that crisis came, the thing went up. That is an externality that you cannot hold into. Okay. If you look at the currency price, which is the exchange rate, again, he has achieved some level of stability in that regime. If you go to the interest rate with the last MPR meeting of the CBA, you see that rates are still stable. So if you talk of general price stability, there is a stability. What is missing is to develop it so that it can come down. But it is no longer rising. You don't wake up and Naira was 2 Naira, the next day is 3 Naira. No, it is stable. That stability has been gotten. So again, his policy has been able to steady the ship of our economy.
Now, yeah, go ahead.
The place of why it's not affecting us, why our pocket is still dry, is that it has not generated employment. So level of dependency have remained the same. And because dependency is the same, income is the same, the number of people eating that income increasing, people are not living a better life. Are you there? Yes. Are you with me?
Go ahead.
So this is why I said the economy review is a mixed bag. In one way, it is working. But where it should work so that citizens will be happy, the impact is not yet strong enough.
Okay. Now, thank you for really emphasizing that. And what you are saying is that, yes, his policies are really working, but it's not trickling down to the ordinary Nigerian. Hence, we're still having a high rate of persons living below the poverty line. Now, let's look at what he's also doing. You really agree with me that one of the major things that will bring in major investors is when our foreign reserve seem to have an appreciable level. And I want us to look at the recent foreign reserve. Presently now, our foreign reserve is put at $51.94 billion as of July 27th, 2026. We had the highest one at 17th of July. That was 10 days ago, when we had about 52.69 billion United States dollars. But at the moment, it's about 51.94 billion United States dollars. Now, let's look at that. Do you feel, because many Nigerians are complaining, just like what you said, that rather than saving a lot in our foreign reserve, why not use this money and trickle it down to the ordinary Nigerians, provide those basic amenities that we truly need? So let's look at it. Do you feel it is in the right direction, saving and increasing our foreign reserve, rather than this money being trickled down to the ordinary Nigerians? And what impact would an increased falling reserve mean for the betterment of the economy itself?
Okay. The foreign reserve, let me speak the market woman English. It's like somebody who has money in his bank, but he does not want to go to a bank. Rather, he wants to get an overdraft or borrow from friends to be able to meet needs. Now, the friend knows that he has the ability to pay, so they will easily give him money to do whatever he wants to do at the time he wants to do it. Then, at the time he promised he will pay, he has the ability to pay. So that's what the foreign reserve does. And that's why if the foreign people are ready to give Nigeria more loans, no matter how we crash, because they are showing the ability to pay. Now, what is growing it is the cost of our product, crude oil, which is for now going higher than our budgeted amount. So whatever excess is on that budget amount goes into the savings. That's just why it's growing.
Let me understand, because many Nigerians are complaining that rather than having this money being stashed somewhere in a foreign account, should this money not be channeled into other ventures that can improve the livelihood of ordinary Nigerians? That's the question. Gideon.
I'm with you.
My question.
I didn't get your last part of your question.
Hello?
Are you there?
Yes, I am. So please go ahead.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Okay, what I said is many Nigerians are complaining that we, rather than having $51.94 billion
money in the bank,
yes, in the bank, can't that be used to deal with some major issues that will trickle down the economy to ordinary Nigerians?
In a nation like this, one thing you don't want to ever do is empty your account, because exigencies can come up at any time.
Yes.
Yes. So you must have a buffer that in the event nobody is ready to help you, you should be able to help yourself, because you are a nation, a sovereign nation at that. So it is usually better to use other people's money to develop when you have the ability to pay than empty your savings to develop your country, which may never be enough. Two, development is not a one-day thing. It's usually a marathon. It's not a sprint at all. So you cannot tell what the price of oil will be tomorrow. And because it is good for you today, you put all your money. That's the mistake Gowon did that is putting us into this trouble. Where all he did with that windfall was to build Lagos, build Qatar Bridge, donate money to IMF, World Bank. They were nothing on ground in the universality of Nigeria. And this is what we are paying for.
Okay, well, anyway, thank you for putting it in clear terms, especially reminding us of how the Gowon administration handled our foreign reserve. But let's handle another major reform aspect that this administration seems to be engaging in. And one I want us to look at is that of the tax reform. Now, you understand that this administration, some of the highlight of its tax reform is that it made the simplicity of some tax law, reduce burdens on low-income earners, and a significant increase in government non-oil revenue, especially as it concerns taxes. Now, do you see this reform, especially as it concerns the tax law, to help indeed transform our macroeconomy indices? And that's number one. And do you feel the money being generated on account of taxes would also be a main contributor to help us deal with our present deficit, especially as it concerns borrowing?
It's very possible.
Very possible, you say?
Sadly, this is Nigeria. Now, there is supposed to be a meeting point between our monetary policies and our fiscal policy. But as I speak to you, the two of them are still on a parallel. They are not meeting at all. So it becomes a problem where we are talking of tax increase, widening the tax bracket, while we are in the same time planning how the low-income people will not pay tax, but they must enjoy a better service from government. Mm-hmm. So balancing these two things is not just as easy as we say, because they have to meet somewhere. Mm. They will usually say in the foreign language that even in Freetown, the lunch is not free. So when we want a better life, and the fiscal policy coming through tax is saying, let's widen, let's pay more, let's gather more. But in the same time, we are saying some people should have rest, they should have holiday, then we are causing problems. To go to the monetary side now, the CBN is not making life easy because interest rate is still too high for any economic contribution to be done. Every businessman is only going to borrow because it's a last resort. It's just too high. Now, put these two things together. Development becomes challenged. Expansion of business becomes challenged. Payment of the tax itself becomes challenged. So, at the end of the day, the policy, as good as it is, I don't think it can achieve where we want to go.
Mr. Gideon, I'm really, really surprised that you say the exemption of tax, especially for low-income workers, is more of a negative trend. Because if you look at the law, those earning up to like 800,000 annually are exempted from that very tax net. And not only that, company income tax of companies that their annual turnover is about 100 million are also exempted. And not only that, they abolished about 50 overlapping tax as it concerns businesses. Now, my question, these monies that would have been channeled into taxes are now being put back by these same ordinary and low-income Nigerians to better the life of their family. And in a way, it goes around. So would that not be benefit on the side of this government in doing that, putting more money in the hands of low-income earners than making them being taxed for a general purse?
Okay. Now listen. We are at most 10 million workers in Nigeria.
Give and take.
How many persons do you think fall within the bracket that should be on tax holiday? Over 60%.
Okay.
Now you are talking of companies that you have also put in a bracket that should be on tax holiday. How many mega companies do we have in Nigeria? I submit to you, sir, that the private sector is more of individual businesses. I am here to be corrected outside the Dangote if there's any company that is employing up to 6,000 people. So these are issues that have to do with the revenue that is achievable from the tax. So by the law itself, we may not, except other laws come up, to help it. Because most of the people, all the market women in our market, all the provision store, all the tiny people employing less than 10 people, if all of them are exempted from tax, go to government. People whose salary are less than 80,000 should not pay tax. So who pays the tax?
Okay, now that's a question that I will not definitely want to answer. That will be for the government. But let's still
No, you will answer it yourself.
let's still remain with the government and look at the recent sharing formula. You totally agree with me that one of the major gains of this administration that the IMF and the World Bank is saying is the removal of fuel subsidy and in every way the increase in the spending of government from what it used to be when large chunk of money was used for subsidizing petroleum products, now that is now being shared among 3 tiers of government. Now, if you look at it, a total of about 2.551 trillion was shared in the month of June by the 3 tiers of government. And this increased from about 230 trillion that was shared in May and 227 trillion that was shared in April, which means there's a projection or a progress or increase as it concerns the money being shared by the 3 tiers of government. Now, my 2 questions are simple. Number one, would you say this is a gain of this administration having more money being shared among 3 tiers of government? And number 2, would you say these gains are being reflected in what ordinary Nigerians are seeing, especially at the state and the local government level?
Well, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay. The truth is, IMF and all the international organizations, they have their own yardstick of evaluating whatever we are doing. Because I don't want us to mix this conversation. Okay. If we are looking at it from the Nigerian point of view, how much of this renewed hope agenda have brought hope to us? Our answer is not likely to be the same as what the IMF and World Bank will say the renewed hope have done. To IMF, the policies are in the right direction. They are achieving the right result. But to us as Nigerians, they are not yet there. So we don't see any reason we should clap hands for the government.
Hello?
So okay. I am saying that
yes,
because of the measuring standard between my personal welfare as a Nigerian and the rightness of the policies based on the data that it generates, we are not giving the same appraisal.
Okay. But would a more increased spending by the 3 tiers of government not be something we need to share about or be happy about, especially as a concerns the administration?
Yes.
Like I said, we shared about 2.551 trillion in last month as it concerns revenue for the 3 tiers of government. So is this not a right direction that we're spending more now rather than it's in the past administration when it was alleged that money were being printed to be shared? But now this is real money that is being shared by 3 tiers of government. Is it not the gain of itself by this administration?
What you share, what you are sharing from federal government is supposed to be an amount of money to help augment the budgets that have been made. So all the entities that receive statutory transfers, they have budget. So what you're asking me now is, how much of the budget have we been able to follow through? That's what you're asking.
No, that's not.
And that's why I'm telling. That's why I'm telling you that IMF and all those people are not following our budget. They are looking at the right thing. But we are looking at the budget you gave. You told us by this budget and Nigerian development, the Nigerian welfare will move. Have we moved? Have more money entered our pocket? Have we have more peace? Have we have more roads? Are there more schools made? Training grounds made? The answer is no. Except for skill acquisition of solar. I can't find another one that the Renew Hope agenda has brought at all the levels of government.
Okay, now, Mr. Gideon, I want us to critically look at this now, because all you are saying is, yes, there are some huge successes being made, but a lack of reflection on ordinary Nigerians. But irrespective, whether we like it or not, direct foreign investment is highly needed by this government. And I could still remember just recently, Standard & Poor recently upgraded our sovereign credit from B- to B, which is a plus and a major contributor that would help bring more investment into this country. So should this not be a plus? And how can this government help sustain us getting good ratings from these international agencies or bodies to help bring more foreign direct inflow into the country?
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can. Go ahead.
The point is, if we are talking of sustenance, it should have achieved the goal first. If the goal is sustained, then we can build on it. But look at it. This is a government that told us that he wants to strengthen infrastructure, for which sake he's bringing more taxes. The question Mike is running away from is, have our institutions, infrastructure, have they been strengthened? If the answer be yes, then we can say this policy is good. Let's die here. Let's make it good. But if the answer be no, why should we strengthen it?
So you feel we strengthening it is really out of point, that the policy should rather be on ground and the direction should be taken?
It comes to me, strengthening them is completely out of point. What we need now is a review of the program, of the policy.
To know whether it's working or not.
Things be set up to review where we are. Not all of them are bad, we agree. But let's review them. They want to strengthen, we strengthen. They want to remove, we remove.
Okay.
They want to adopt, we do. But it's not a holistic thing.
Okay. Okay, now let's leave the economy and come down to the issue of security, because this was also being looked at when the Catholic bishops visited President Tinubu just yesterday, where he reaffirmed his commitment in actually safeguarding the lives and properties of ordinary Nigerians. And one I want us to quickly look at, if you agree with me, apart from the recent killing of 30 persons in Kaduna, which happened just day before yesterday, we've had relative peace in the country with the Nigerian military forces being on the offense rather than the defense in recent times, with the killing of high-profile terrorist leaders like Yellow and the rest. But let's look at one major one that transpired or happened some couple of days back, and is President Bola Tinubu increasing the military divisions from how it was in 8, adding 4 now to 12. Now, do you see the creation of this new military division as a step in the right direction as it concerns securing these lands that have little or less government presence? Let's look at that.
I want to salute President Tinubu. In this one, he got this one correctly.
Wow.
Let me give you a little problem or a picture into it.
Okay, go ahead.
The Nigerian space that have been ungoverned by security men is larger than the areas that you can find security. And that has made it easy for those against the state to take arm against the state through the Nigerian citizens. So what he has done is identifying these ungoverned spaces that lack security and ensuring that they are properly secured. So if you look at the map, I don't know if you have seen the map, you see that between Niger and Kwara, there have been no military formation. Come to the Midwest, there was no division. You go to the East, you find that. So what he's trying to do is, instead of concentrating these things in North Central, Southwest, and just a little in the Southeast, he decided to make it even.
Okay.
To me, it's a right step. The next step he took is to ensure that they have recruitment for 20,000.
28,000.
That will, yes, it will increase the manpower to be deployed. It will reduce the time for you to bring soldier men, for example, from Benin to Warri, or from Warri to somewhere in Delta. Instead of moving soldier men from Kaduna to go to Ilori, you will now be finding soldier men within Mina and Ilori. So that is a good thing that we put those people on check. The third thing in the same direction is that he decided to increase their salary. God knows that what they pay the Nigerian recruits is not sufficient for me to join them.
Okay, well,
so to me, that is a master stroke.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank God you are giving him credit on account of that. But let's look at another narration or narrative that some critics are also saying, that rather than recruiting 28,000 military personnel to help shore up the numbers as it concerns military personnel, should we not be thinking towards the era of hardware or software that will be helped or pushed into dealing with the issue of insecurity, like drones that the Ukrainians use in actually helping for them to sustain this war? So should the Nigerian government not leave this different approach of insecurity and deal with the issue of having improved technology to help them deal with the issue of insecurity?
We can't talk of technology alone. Technology alone cannot work. You know that. So for you to deploy technology, there is also the need for food to be on ground.
Okay.
Even as sophisticated as the United States, when they wanted that partnership with Nigeria, they sent men. So there is a place for men, there's a place for technology, and both working together, security can be better.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. But before I let you go, especially as it concerns more when it comes to the issue of what this administration is doing, let's look at the issue of state police, which is almost coming to a final conclusion as it concerns dealing with the issue or grappling or dealing with the issue of the deteriorating insecurity in the country. Now, what's your take as it concerns state police? And are you certain? And the reason I'm asking this because of how really skeptical some other critics seems to be. Are you certain that the introduction of state police will definitely tip the balance for us towards the issue of getting more improved security in the country?
I agree with state police. I agree with state police because the federal government, whose allocation is used to pay for federal security services, is already overwhelmed. State governments collect allocation also. We hear the Ombongos amount they claim as security goals. They should use some of it to engage the locals. The engagement of the locals will ensure that the person you are paying for security will be known to you. So if you bring an Ika man to take police position in Ika land, If he sees a Fulani man, he will know this person is Fulani. Like he usually says, if you see something, say something. Then if the Fulani man is taking you to the bush, he cannot know your bush more than yourself. So this idea of bringing strangers, complete strangers to certain locations for the purpose of police or security is old-fashioned. If America had to come to Nigeria, they needed Nigerians to work with. I believe if somebody is coming to Delta, he needs Deltans to work with. That's what the state police will be doing.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Gideon Oghuh, for being a part of it. We really want to appreciate you. We know how busy you are, and especially with the huge downpour that seems to be happening at the moment. And we really want to say thank you so much for being a part of it. We really appreciate your time and your honest and frank assessment of what you feel this administration has done, either through their actions or inaction, and whether they are doing well or need to sit up to do more. But all the same, we need to say thank you so much for your time with us. We truly appreciate your time. Okay, well, it's more like a wrap on the show today, and we really want to say for our viewers and those watching, the show will not end as it is, because you do know your reactions, comments, and contribution is always well appreciated. Hence, we'll really request for them. Like I said, please send them to our different social media platforms. Let's have your take, reaction as it concerns. Are you positive as it concerns the recent reforms being taken by this administration when it comes to the issue of improving the economy? Are you really satisfied with it? And if not, what areas do you feel they need to improve on to better the lot of many Nigerians that are indeed feeling the pinch as it concerns what the economy is? And if it's that of security, are you also confident that with the introduction of 4 more new divisions and 28,000 personnel, will it change the narrative as much as we wait for the implementation of the state police after the whole legal or constitutional process is being applied on? Let's get your views, comment, and contribution. And honestly, we truly appreciate them, as we appreciate thus far those you've been sending to us. We'll say we really do enjoy them. But talking about enjoying, well, the rains are still pouring out heavy there. And what better way to really smoothen your day rather than being with us right here on Atlantic TV? And it's still Viewpoint. The news will come pretty soon. So stick around, be with us, because more enjoyable and interesting programs right here on Atlantic TV. Bye for now.